Hey Atlas, good evening. All right. No, it's very, very peaceful. Electromagnetics. You're seeing that's the green is electromagnetic spectrum magnetism that is visible magnetism. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Visible spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see a natural light in movement, and it doesn't travel a straight line. No straight lines in nature. Show me a straight line in nature. Show me something that's stationary. The only thing that's stationary is your fucking degree. And a piece of paper is fucking pressed upon. Nothing's flat either. Right? The only thing that's fucking stationary is their degree that was ironed upon a piece of fucking paper or stationery. People ask me, did you use a machine to roll this? I said, nope. I did it by hand. Did it by hand. It's an artesian craft. When you do things by hand, it's artisan. They never respect handcraft, do they? Oh, this cannabis. I'm smoking somebody's paycheck right now. Ain't I a dick? I'm literally smoking someone's paycheck right now. Just thought I'd throw that out there for an insult, right? That's for the minimum wage people that follow me. You know what I mean? I'm smoking your paycheck right now. So, to the state of Maine, I say, you got issues. Department of Health and Human Services employee, Monica Cruz, the one that filed a complaint against me saying I was a pimp, quit their job, is no longer dealing with my case, stepping down. The one that filed the initial claim all of a sudden is stepping off the case. Now remember, she called me a pimp. And because of that insult, I've managed to realize that you're all turned out tricks and whores if you don't have a response for me. Isn't that cool? Three kinds of people in this world: pimps, tricks, and hoes. Thank you for the inspiration, Monica Cruz. I certainly do appreciate it. And you know what else is fucking funny? I saw pictures of her today, and she's 60 pounds heavier today than she was when she called me a pimp. Must be eating at her conscience. Remember, liberals and feminists love to eat their emotions. That's why they wind up being fat heifers. Doesn't matter if they're black or white. You like to eat your emotions, don't you? And boy, it really fucking shows now. And by the way, I further found out that Monica Cruz doesn't have any children. It's always women without children telling people with children how to raise their children. I find that to be fucking amazing. And no one knows how to think or feel about it. Just thumb it. I like to thumb it, right? Thumb it. Meanwhile, I'm over here scratching my head trying to figure out what to do with these silent and meaningless thumbs. I mean, if they were as good as cash, I wouldn't be in this situation. Isn't that the truth? Thumb it. And this all came about because of my anti vax perspective. I didn't believe anything in the vaccines was beneficial to my child. I said no, not once, not twice, not three times, four times. And they're called a popo because I wouldn't say yes. I wouldn't break under pressure. See, I thought there was fair play in this fucking country, but your silence proves otherwise. I used to believe in fair play. Now I believe I can silence the majority through vocabulary and use of the dictionary. Fucking amazing! How's that for a thought process? I'll confuse them with my syllabus. And this is the magic school bus. How you doing? I did ride the short bus to school every day. I was called stupid and crazy and this dumb fuck for 40 fucking years. But your goddamn silence is louder than my fucking voice. Speaks volumes for you. So I'm not really worried about people's personal feelings or opinions anymore when all they have for me is a silent thumb. So I'll operate under the assumption that I'm right and the rest of the people are wrong until they say otherwise. How's that for a twist? Twist. I'm the Pope until someone says otherwise. Twist. Twist. I'm Emperor Dickhead until someone says otherwise. Twist, twist. That's just me asserting myself. They like to say yes, and I like to say no. Unmovable forces versus unstoppable ones. When worlds collide, this is what happens. They don't have any excuses. Silence solves nothing, doesn't change anything, not a solution. It's actually the fucking problem. Amazing. Isn't it amazing that they're there for you and they care about you as long as they can make a profit off of you? And as soon as they can't make a profit off of you no more, well, they don't fucking like you anymore, do they? It's all about the profits, baby. Oh, look, is that a dragon in the sky? Really looks like a fucking dragon. It's a conspiracy. This is why I don't pray well with others. There's no, what is this? Any of you guys watch the Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard conversation in regards to the negative energy, the strong power? Did you catch that bit? I did. But I caught that bit about that strong bit of energy, that negative energy, that strong power. I realized all this about 1999. And you've been actively participating in a psychological experiment ever since. This experiment has been going on for 25 years. One experiment, not several, but one. Just one ongoing social live science experiment. Every day, 25 years now. I realize that when you speak truthfully, it causes wave conjugation between the frequency you cause, the sound wave you cause, and the crossing between the individual's ear and your spoken word. Your silence is consent to me, and you will sit silent. That's predictable. And if you're predictable, you're programmable. So why would I worry about your feelings if I can program them? How are you in control of anything if you're just reacting to my vocabulary? Wonder what all the smart people got to say about that fucking one. Nothing. So intelligent, aren't you? They never give me no credit. Must be because I'm a high school dropout. Is that it? Don't have any degrees. Came from the wrong family. My mother was a prostitute, and I'm a bastard son. Son of a whore. What the fuck does your silence do for Draco? Fuck's your silence do for my children? Guarantee their fucking poverty. Going hungry. Guarantees it breaks up their family home. Geez, the community really gives a shit, huh? What? Never did. People only pretend to give a shit. That's the amazing part. I actually give a shit about my labor. That's the difference. And you don't respect my labor. That's why you fucking sit silent. Day in, day out, 25 fucking years. Just stub it. trust people. I can trust that they'll keep their mouths shut. I can trust that they'll look the other way. I can trust that they will say nothing. They will see nothing, see no evil, hear no evil. Don't ask no questions. Don't tell me no eyes. We went from see something, say something to don't ask, don't tell. I'm supposed to be impressed right now, right? My grandfather died in World War II, and my Uncle Carl killed himself because of alcoholism, because of trauma he suffered in Vietnam. And Uncle Bob blew his fucking brains out serving this country in the military. I think serving this country would be a disservice to my family. And I think sitting silent is fucking treason. Wonder what you think about that. Are you silent traitors? Worst kind, isn't it? Don't worry, most people are silent. 99% silent. That feeds my children, don't it? Just of it. You sexist, racist bigots, you liars, and you fucking hypocrites with your licenses to lie. It's amazing. Put a clamp on it. Be obedient for once in your life. You better be in your own fucking lives, or shit. Feeds into my thesis atlas that America is just going to die silent. Sound of silence. They don't know how to think. They always talk about how they fucking feel. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I can't remember a time when someone fucking respected my feelings. If they respected my feelings, we wouldn't be having this conversation, and I wouldn't have the attitude that I have. And I have to thank your silence for the education, too, because it's a motherfucker. It's maddening. The things that you sit silent to astounds me. I keep telling people that men are not pack animals, and they tell me I'm sexist and fucking racist. I think if you're silent and you're mute about it, then you're a sexist racist. And let's see you disagree with that one. I want to know, Atlas, what gives a state official the fucking right to fucking call me a fucking pimp just the basis of my wet dog appearance? Without walking in a fucking rainstorm. Poor people don't have cars. They walk for the most part. Hello. Got caught in a fucking rainstorm between a house and a hospital. Right? So, sight unseen, I'm a pimp and an unfit father. Nothing else. State people working against the man. The man. What? What? I have to worry about them stealing my rights behind my back, backstabbing me, back talking me, talking shit behind my back. They won't say it to my face. They never say it to my face. And then through third party, we learned today that Monica Cruz will no longer be handling the case that Monica Cruz established and instigated. You don't find that fucking funny? The state worker that established that I was an unfit father is stepping down from the fucking case. Wow. And in the last 2 months has managed to put on 60 fucking pounds. You can't make this fucking shit up. And I was calling her a fucking fat heifer 2 months ago. And she's put on 60 more pounds since then. And it's weird because, like, everywhere I go with this shit, they ignore it, thumb it. They don't say anything. They're not going to pay me any money for telling the story. So nothing fucking changes because of these stupid fucking professionals with their licenses to remain silent. I'll think about this until tomorrow. I'll get back to you. I never thought about it that way before, Matthew. I have to get back to you tomorrow. And they're always doing that to me, too. They're always telling me they'll get back to me tomorrow. Well, that doesn't resolve anything today, you stupid piece of shit. There's my opinion, free of charge. Was it worth hearing? Worth paying for? This is why I stay home. Conform or die. Speak or die. I've developed this attitude the last few months. You'll notice it. It's evolving. It's a subtle division in society, right? I realize there's two classes of people. Those that speak and are paying to do it, like myself, I'm paying to speak. That's one class of peoples. And then there's another class of peoples that read scripture for a living. They get paid to speak. and there is no third option. So it becomes very Shakespearean, very thespian, right? Speak, don't speak. What choice do you have? Is sitting silent even a fucking choice? Especially when I'm predicting it. You know what I mean? I don't expect a comment from anybody in regards to what I'm saying right now. I expect everybody to keep their mouth shut. I don't see any thank yous. I don't see anybody reaching out. Hey, you want a buck? Need some help? No, this ain't a community. Never was. The two-party system will never resolve the issues that my family's suffering from because the two-party system is profiting off of my family's misery. And your silence is fucking treason. Paid for in blood, sweat, and tears. Didn't beg, didn't borrow, not fucking living my life on somebody else's credit. I'm not living off my mommy or my daddy. Yeah, so there's a big difference between me and you. It's really true. This message was sponsored by the Bank of Matthew Dane the Borough. I don't care if you like what I said. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't put any bread on the table. Doesn't pay the rent. Anything they say doesn't change anything. Has no bearing on the reality. They offer opinions with no fucking solutions. They like causing, creating problems. Well, the reality is the problems were created by you in the fucking first place, and I'm reacting to the shit that you fucking caused. So silence is treason. Speak or die. You can't talk. You don't have the ability. God shuts your trap through me. It's amazing. I'm the best closer in the business. Closing what? People's mouths? Shut the fuck up when I'm talking to you. You have the right to remain silent. My best advice for you, choose it. And look, they do. That makes them obedient, which most people are. I figured that out a long time ago. Do I sound obedient to you? I didn't ask anyone's permission to broadcast. And I went live without a scheduled time or appearance time. I didn't tell you what I was going to do before I did it. I just do things to you on my dime, on my dollar, when I want to, not when you want me to. Oh, that's sexist. That is racist. Ooh. I think silence is a result of sexism and racism and bigotry and narcissism. Something like that. Something like that. I did a lot of reading when I was young. I don't read books anymore. I read people. It's more entertaining. People are books to read. Their reactions are knee jerk confessions about themselves. Silence will tell you a lot about somebody. Or indecisive or indirect answers and definitive answers. Like Paul Spotty, I had to get rid of him. He used to call me his friend. But if you're sitting there and you won't affirm or deny, if you won't say yay or nay, you're no friend of mine. Cut you right off. I can't say if you're right, and I won't say if you're wrong. What kind of shit is that? You're not my friend. You're my fucking enemy. I'll think about this until tomorrow and get back to you. Never. If I waited on people to do as they said they were going to do, I would be dead already. You know? Wouldn't even be here. If I believed in people or sat around waiting for them to keep their word, I'd never get anything done. If I sat around explaining myself every 5 minutes to every person that passed my path, or I crossed their path, etc. If I sat down and explained myself to every person that crossed my path, I'd never get anything done. No. If I asked every person permission before I went out and did a thing, I'd never get anything done. If I went around seeking people's approval before I did a thing, I'd never get anything done. I'd always be waiting on them, and they're always saying, I'll get back to you tomorrow. So if I waited for them, I would be sitting here waiting forever. Nothing would ever change. If I don't make the change myself, it doesn't occur or happen. And that's either true or it's a lie, and silence is no, or is it yes? relationships with people have to be mutually beneficial, not one sided. And when I recognize relationships with people are one sided or one way, I cut them loose. I'm not going to carry dead weight. I'm not going to perpetually feed people that have no interest in seeing prosperity within my family for my own children. So there's no point in keeping them around. They're a cost, they're a burden. So I don't mind using the block button.
There's a show on Netflix you should check out, Atlas. It's called Trinary Three Body Conflict. It's a really interesting mini series. You should check it out. Three Body Conflict, which parallels trinary reality, is what I call it. Trinary, Trinity, law of thirds. 33 and a third, 33, 66, 99, and 100 is me. 100 is 1. 1 to 100. 1 is 100. Zeros didn't change anything. It's part of what I teach children. Zero doesn't exist. That's not mainstream. There is no zero. It's part of my philosophical core programming. Never is there zero. Where is zero? Your bank account is a reflection of positive or negative balance. Either the bank owes you money or you have money in the bank. So really, a lot of this comes down to how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Proper English, etiquette, description, divination. Pictures are worth more than the fucking words that you speak to me. Don't ask, show. If they can't show you, then don't bother listening, you know? The emerald tablets refer to the round 9. And a nonagon is a 9-sided figure, 9 sides, 9 points, 9-pointed star. It's Babylonian.
That's occult knowledge. Instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say circle, petal, triangle, square, pentastar, hexagon, septagon, octagon, nonagon. Essentially, I said the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but instead, I used the geometric term that each number is reflecting. One is a sphere, a circle with a dot that has no vector but the center. It's got one point to it, which is the middle of a fucking circle. So circle is expressive to one. A petal has two vectors. Triangle's got three. Square's got four. Pentagram's got five. Hexagon's got six. Septagon's got seven sides. Octagon's got 8 sides to it. Nonagon's got 9 sides to it. And decagram's got 10 sides to it. There's 144 geometric forms or figures. A 144 star forms, figures, or patterns. Nokian star magic, which is essentially the periodic table of elements. Elemental comprehension of reality. They worshipped the elements. They worship the stars. While I'm over here mastering them, mastered them. To every number is an expressive form or figure. Frequency generates geometry. I used chaos magic during this stream. Chaos magic. I didn't tell you ahead of time what I was doing. No scheduled time. There was no plan. Wasn't really sure if I was going to go live. Just went live. Just winging it.
That's really a
And you got the left wing and you got the right wing, and there's only one wing nut. Right? A wing nut's got a left and a right wing. Just like a bird. Left wing, right wing. But it's one bird. Left wing, right wing, but it's one wing nut. So I'm a little wing nut. I think you need to understand that COVID was. Oh yeah. I've been on every platform, man. I don't even give a shit no more. Do you understand I have what's called a pneumatic memory? You know what that is? That means I see the picture before I speak it. That's called precognitive. And they're suffering from cognitive dissonance, and I'm a precog. causing cognitive dissonance. You see a fucking iron here, not? You know, there's a card for you. Nothing like seeing what's going to happen before it happens and then speak it into existence. Nothing like it. It's fucking the darndest thing. I don't really like telling people about this, you know? Kind of spooks them out. I know it's really crazy, man. Some things I can see years down the road. And I mean years. I see it actually happening in real time, but I see it years down the road. And some things that are unfolding today, I saw as a child, 10, 11. Really kind of pissed off about it. Where is consciousness? I'm actually from the future. I'm pretty sure I'm a time traveler. Part Terence McKenna and the Stoned Ape theory, ancient astronauts and time travelers. If my calculations are correct, I'm in the East. China is the West. The East is the West. The West is the East. The North Pole is the South. South fucking North. They inverted the Earth. Inverted Earth theory. Well, it's like I'm totally rebellious and defiant and realized everything's backwards from the natural orders. Up is down, down is up, in is out, out is in. To the left hand, turn right. To the right hand, turn left. Grab by the cheek, slap the right cheek, they'll run left. Slap the right cheek, they'll run left. Slap the right cheek, run left. No, run right. Left to the right, right to the left. Do you see what I'm saying here? Grab by the tongue, pour it, slap it off the left cheek, they run right. Slap it off the right cheek, they run left. Tongue is the rudder. That tongue is the rudder. But what happens when you clip them off at the tongue? Check this out. When you speak a sound wave and it hits someone's ear, they're hearing it. That's a point of crossing. That's a wave conjunction. Smiley wave. See, I can see that in my head. And when you speak the word, you spit it in the ear. And the ear is shaped like a gear, and it cranks on the brain. And when you realize they're just waiting to be offended by somebody, then you have the ability to steer the bullshit, the cows, the cattle. You can steer them left, right, right, left. Which way you gonna run? Isn't it amazing? We learned these things from Aleister Crowley. We also learned about something called backmasking. It's really interesting, you know. Crowley talks about a lot of things you won't hear from anyone else, and backmasking happens to be one of those things. English operating in reverse is not a conspiracy. I love shitting on people and raining on their parade or pissing on it. I have an innate ability to piss people off. And on top of that, sex sells and fear motivates people, so it's easy to make them emotional. And if all decision making is because of their emotions, look at that word emotion. No I to me, right in the word, right? Read it from the right to the left. Emotion. Write it down on paper. Look at it on paper. Emotion. Do it. Write it down. Emotion. And then right under it, spell it backwards. Oh my God. Break down the letters, space them out. Write it backwards, but space out the letters when you do it backwards. So then it's easier for you to see because you're not accustomed in this manner of thinking. You're welcome. It's a priceless lesson. You can't put a price tag on what I just gave you.
What happened?
Giving a lesson. You're doing it and he's doing it. I'm like, look,
No,
it's not random, not a fucking accident. The numerical values are the same.
What's it? No, I didn't. What does that mean?
You don't know yourself.
Emotion?
You're not in control of your emotions. You got to think about it. But it's in the fucking word itself. You don't have to go to the dictionary. All you had to do is look at the word forward and backwards. Look at NATO backwards. You get OTAN. What the fuck is that? Right? NATO, OTAN, two world organizations, forward and backwards. How about COVID 1991 DVOC? That sounds like a play out of Coach Belichick's playbook. COVID 1991 DVOC. Hot, hot, hot. See, Atlas, I got my own cipher going on here. I don't operate anyone else's cipher. I'm operating Aleister Crowley's cipher. Isn't that shit funny? Time backwards is emit. Stop backwards is pots. Devil backwards lived. Love backwards evil. Star backwards is rats. Race car in reverse reads race car. ID peeved. That's 9 letters for you. DEPOOOPED. Depooped. That means I'm deflated of all shit. I'm de-pooped. See, I had to create my own word to describe the situation that I was facing. I realized I was in competition with race car. See, now on top of the world. 9 letters in that one, not 7. Can't get it twisted, man. Read it forward, read it backwards. Hey, Crowdy, you are so fucked, man. And you know how else is fucked? Winston Churchill. Because Churchill is Crowdy, and Crowdy was Churchill. And Churchill controlled the history books. Churchill said, the world will think kindly of me because I am the one that's writing the history books. And jeez, Churchill was Crowdy. Isn't that amazing? Like, they like to operate fake names and stuff, you guys. Crowdy said that you would be distracted by names and you wouldn't pay attention to people's faces. So facial recognition would be just beyond you. You wouldn't comprehend it. Facial recognition. Wearing a mask. These COVID masks symbolic to something, like maybe these government agent actors wearing silicone bodysuits and masks. I like to bump it, bump it. I like to shake it. And they like to lose it. I think people's problem is they just too goddamn serious for their own good. They take everything too seriously and they don't think I'm serious enough. I can't take any of this shit seriously, and seriously, I can't take their reactions seriously. Seriously. I realize they tell you what they're doing before they do it, not after. Think about that. They tell you in the movies what they're going to do before they do it. They tell you in the cartoons and the anime what they're going to do before they go out and do it. They confess their sins to the children before they commit them. They tell the truth in animation and they confess lies as truth. And we call that political propaganda, PP. I just followed procedure, policy, and protocol. PPP. It's all about warping the seed. Warp speed, drop the PP, got war on seed. So the vaccines were all about genetics and chemically castrating people. It's a depopulation agenda. How's that for some bullshit? And the more I realized, the more I became aware. And the more I thought, the more I think, and the more I sat, and the more I saw. I saw how policies of today reflected the policies of yesterday in reference to the Spanish flu. So we extend back 100 years. And then I realized that there couldn't possibly be a World War III because World War II never got over and it's still ongoing. The scripture for what we're going through right now was written during World War II. It's a result of World War II. So really, World War II never got over. It's ongoing. So you can't have a World War III if World War II is still ongoing. Never really got over. They lied to you, went underground. They've been at war with you the whole time. Then I got to thinking about that, and I was like, well, geez, if World War II never really got over, then did World War One ever really stop? Excuse me. Did World War One ever actually stop? Are all these wars just continuations of older wars? So World War III couldn't happen. World War II is still going on and ongoing. And if World War One is still ongoing, do you see what I'm trying to show you? Every war is a continuation of an older war. There'll be a war in 2120. That's 100 years from today. 100 years in the future. Who's going to think like that in the presence of fate now? Not 50 years, 100. Minimum. 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 After 10 years of historical research, you realize they faked 1,000 years of history. Faked 1,000 years. Right? And wow. Right? It takes you 10 years to figure that out. Right? And then it takes you another 10 years to realize 5,000 years ago, they thought the earth was a celestial sphere and that we were all parts of something greater than ourselves and we were inside the earth and not on it. 5,000 years ago. And guess what? We're still inside of something greater than ourselves. Huh? Nothing's really changed. And they've been lying about it the whole time. So here we sit with a reverted perspective back to the perspective of 5,000 years ago. We're not on something, we're inside of something. When you look up, you're looking in. When you're looking down, you're looking out. Out is in is out. To left hand, right hand, left. Good is bad, bad is good. No means yes, yes means no. Good people are bad people are good. Can I get a fucking trophy now? So I can feed my children? Your ego? Death? Right? Death to the ego. Die, 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 die. Submit. Tap out. We're not getting smarter because of smartphones. You notice I never actually use one or have one on hand? You ever notice that about me? No scripture, no teleprompter, or no devices in my hands while I'm streaming. I use devices to create streams. I don't use devices to fucking think for me. To calculate. Calculator. The brain is an organic CPU, a computer core processing unit, a computer. Hello. It's a biological computer. You know, it's organic. It's an alchemical computer. Do you compute? The brain is a computer. It's a core processor. It's a CPU. Huh? It's also a transmitter and transponder. Emits and sends signal. Works two ways, right? Some people think that they're a source of consciousness, but I just tell them that they're an extension of it, and consciousness was pre-existing their existence, and that triggers them. Ultimately, you're submersed in consciousness. Consciousness, we could say, is water to simplify. Because without water, there's no hydrogen. Without hydrogen, there's no fuel source for the sun. So you're looking for the primary, which is hydrogen. Isn't that interesting? And that's the heart of matter, which is hydrogen, ether, plasma. And that's what you're seeing across the sky in these images. Plasma bursts, radiation, alchemical gold, green energy. Your silence fucking offends me. Offends me. Disrespects my children. Doesn't save them from your stupidity. Sit silent, green with envy. Right? Green, envy. Maybe they got the blues because I told the truth. Right? Rhythm of blues. Feeling kind of blue now? Or maybe you're angry because I told the truth. Right? They want to charge me like a Red Bull. And if you're purple about it, then you're plum. That means you're balanced. See how fruity that is? And you can solve all of it with fruit, right? A carpenter's plum. You hold a string and a line, and it's got a plum, and it's balanced. And it's straight, you know. It's plum. Purple. Sit silent, green envy. You need some green fruits. You need some lime. You need some kiwi. You need some green apples. You need some spinach in your life. You need the greens. And if you're red, well, you need strawberries and watermelon. You need red fruit. Except for the blues, you need blueberries. Feeling yellow right now? Feeling yellow? Cowardly? Maybe you need a banana and a lemon. You need a banana. Right? You a stupid fucking monkey. Aren't you glad to see me now? See? It's all solvable with fruits. There's a color code. Maybe their silence makes them fruitcakes. I hated fruitcake. My nana would give me one every year, and I hated that shit. I still ate it because my nana, my nana.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I didn't care for
Like
it.
a Christmas
But
thing.
I hate fruitcake. Fuck no, I would never buy someone a fruitcake. But my nana would buy them all the time. And my nana, why are you doing this to me? Obviously, there's more there's more to it than just that. This is just to give you a window. There's a color code to reality, and emotions are comparable to fruit. Same with internal energies, chakras inside energy points inside a person. Your gut is reacting to your environment, your food intake. It creates a chemical response. It sends a signal to the heart, causes an emotional response. It triggers the brain to physically move the body in regards to how the ego feels about the environment and the language that they're hearing. When you speak truth in a room full of liars, when the frequency crosses point with their ear, it causes a wave conjunction and it cancels them the fuck out. They're mute about it. They ain't got nothing to say. Isn't that amazing? They just mute. Shh. Shh. And mute backwards is etum. Etum. Sounds like eat them. Etum. Hate ita. Ida. Hate ita. Mute etum. Isn't it funny how every word all of them operate left to right, right to left. So other things evolved from this, realizing numerical values of words. If the letters to the words are the same, the numerical values are the same. So does it matter the arrangement of the letters? Is it all in pride? 3 letters, 2, W-O, T-W-O, 2. Read it backwards. Out, O-W-T. Turn the letters around. T-O-W, toe. Read it backwards. What, W-O-T. What to toe out? Now it's a question. What am I towing out? So those three letters created 4 words that caused a question to fucking occur. Did it all by itself. Amazing. And I want to give credit to Mr. James Henry. I want to give credit to Mr. James Henry for what I just said. He was the first one that ever said it to me. And I was 14. Pretty cool, huh? Something that was said that far back to you, having born to reality today. Damn, right? I was taught this when I was a child. Phonetic language. No one's taught English the same. Thank you, Mr. Henry. You traumatized me for life. When you know the thing, act like you don't know. When you don't know, act like you do. Confuse them. When you don't have any money, dress like you have all the money in the world. You can get rather expensive clothing at the flea markets for $1 or $2 an item. Use your imagination. Terrible thing to waste. And you'll attract wealth because you look like you have it. And if you have a lot of money, then act like you don't have any at all, and people will leave you the fuck alone. Wasn't that wild? So here you have little old me sitting on the towel, sitting on the tea. Which way will you go because of me? I didn't tell you any direction to go in. That's how you confuse people, Atlas, right there. Don't tell them anything in a priority. Don't try to steer them, and it will confuse them. They'll think you're steering them when you're not trying to steer them. Give them 3 choices to a thing, and you'll confuse them. Tell them the thing outright, and they'll call you a liar. Give it to them 2 choices. You're a dictator or a tyrant. You're an extension of the old problem, 2-party system. It's either always choice A or B. So I chose to cause everybody to confuse simultaneously. I thought it'd be more entertaining. Given 3 choices. See this, that. Sorry. How you want to resolve a thing? Like the other day, I was discussing the voting thing. I said there's 3 ways you could resolve the whole issue. Remember, I always give 3 choices. It's always multiple choice. I see a problem, and I present 3 choices to resolve that problem, and it's on you. Voting is one of the problems, right? So how do we resolve the problem? Well, here's the solution. What if everyone voted for themselves? An act of unity. Huh? What if everyone voted for themselves? They didn't vote for a party, they voted for themselves. They voted for themselves over the party. That's an option. Everybody gets one vote and they all vote for themselves. So, what would happen there? Right? That's an option. Or everybody voted independent party and they cut off the wings and got rid of the large money. Because that's really ultimately the problem. Foreign corporations controlling interests in this nation. They don't actually care about this place. It's a litter box to them. A litter box. Children are being reduced to furries, thinking they're cats or dogs. They relate more to being a dog or a cat than their own species. And that's because of the education system. And here I sit and watch as society regresses and regressively calling me crazy. They regress and call me crazy. The person that was calling me a pimp stepped down from that job. So how does the charge stick if the fucking person that filed the claim to occur, left the case? They're the one that filed the complaint. Now they don't want to handle the case no more. They want somebody else to do the work. So what's that all about? Moral integrity? Moral relativity? They don't have any moral accountability. They can't hold themselves accountable for the shit they caused to occur. There's a TV show on Netflix that profoundly affected the way I look at reality. It's called Blacklist. Right? Right? Blacklist?
Yeah.
Read it?
Yeah.
Mr. Reddington.
I like that show.
Man, that guy. Wow. That character was number one on the FBI most wanted list, and at the same time was supplying the FBI with intel. And it was in a situation where Mr. Reddington was in control of the FBI. The most wanted man in the world was dictating reality to the FBI. Isn't that amazing? Was actually in charge of them, was dictating. It's hysterical show, hysterical. Wow. I do these streams because I owe it to myself. I don't owe it to an institution. It's a lot different when you owe it to yourself. I don't do this because I owe the country anything. I do this because I'm fucking selfish and I owe myself. So that makes me a dickhead because I didn't do it for you. I did it for myself. And I did it for my children. I didn't do it for them. Now, now, this is my house. It's the Green New Deal, you guys. Green energy. Fire in the sky. Hey, look, it's plasma. Ooh, stationary. Right? Stationary. The earth is stationary, you guys. Fixed and immovable. I think people believe whatever they're told to believe. And that's scary, right? Because great atrocities occur because people believe they're doing the right thing. They thought wearing a mask was the right thing. And they thought that 100 years ago, wearing a mask was the right thing. They thought that shit 100 years ago, Spanish flu. Just mask up, everybody. Mask up. Gangsta. But when you look at mask up, you get an anagram. Up you. Up you. U-P-P-U. Up you. You say, mirrored it. Read it forward, backwards, simultaneously. Up you. Mask scam. S-K-A-M. Scam. Ask them. Mask scam. Mask scam. Oh my God. It's a hustle. It plays you. Then, in black and white, to the history books. And now, living color, present. And I'm Morgan Freeman, the voice of God and reason, dictating terms to your reality in the presence of right now. Father Time, who's your daddy? Jesus Christ, this guy. I know more about history than the majority of everybody in this state. Majority of people that are living in my state are they're transplants. They're not indigenous. They're not from here. My family's been here hundreds of years. So trust me when I say most people are transplants, they're fucking transplants.
Sure.
Tomorrow I'll attempt to do another group presentation in regards to Nuremberg, COVID, Agenda 21, Event 201, and Agenda 2020, 2030, 2050. Yeah, I said 2050 too. And what's another 50 years on top of that? 2120. I'm trying to generate a group of people that look at the timeline 100 years, 200 years in the past, 100, 200 in the future. And they're not just worried about tomorrow, now. You know, you have to see 3 points in time. You have to recognize there's 100-year cycles. So that's part of what I'm trying to do here. Look what happened 100 years ago, too. And think into the future, 100, 200 years. Project. What do you want it to be? Ran by machines? AI? You want AI dictating terms to reality? Nothing natural? Everything's inorganic? GMO? That's really what you got to be realizing. All the seed sources are hermaphrodited that attempt to make the world go gay, chemically castrate the planet. They attempted. And apparently Klaus Schwab is stepping down from his position at WF and other places under scrutiny. They're catching a lot of backlash right now, so it's very, very interesting. Things are only going to heat up, escalate. It ain't going away because they ain't got nothing to say. Their silence creates a vacuum. They've lost their power. They lost their hydrogen. They lost their fire. They lost their fuel. They were wanting to burn the planet to the ground, set the world on fire. If you take away the oxygen, hydrogen in the equation, no fire can occur. Leave it there for tonight. Good evening, everyone.